Hello and welcome to Goal Line Gossip. Yesterday was the last match of the season officially. Manchester City winning the Champions League, completing the treble, and yeah, well, I'm guessing being the best team in the world right now. Which means the season just closed yesterday, and now we're going to move towards the transfer rumors, the transfer news, a lot of exciting stuff coming on this channel. We have our fans here. How are you all doing? Any reaction to yesterday's Champions League final? Did you guys guess that City would win? Obviously you did, but I was surprised with the scoreline, like a 1-0 scoreline. I was hoping that there'll be more goals in the match. Of course, most probably with City being in the form that they are in. But what were your thoughts on the match? I'll start with Jishmeister. So you had the chance to win the Premier League. You fell short at some point, and that was one of the trophies that helped Guardiola and his team win the treble. But how would you reflect on, well, I'm guessing like not winning the Premier League, but also like yesterday's match. Did you catch the match?
Of course I did. Yeah, it was the whole thing. In my opinion, this is the worst trouble that you're going to see out of most of the troubles that I've seen in my lifetime. Whether it's the Bayern Munich trouble, Inter Milan trouble, Barcelona trouble. I think two troubles once under Luis Enrique and once under Pep Guardiola. And the reason I say this is because the before the 28th game of Arsenal season, if anybody would have told me that we looked at our fixtures, I remember, and I looked at three fixtures: Man City away, Liverpool away, Newcastle away. Yes, these three fixtures we had, and I looked at it and we were like, you know what? If anybody would have told me we are going to get one win, one draw, one loss, I would have taken it in a heartbeat. Do you know why? It's because I would have predicted that we would not be dropping the amount of points that we did in the rest of the games. What I find unforgivable and would not expect, and why I'm calling Man City being super lucky, is being 2-0 up to West Ham and potentially being able to go 3-0 up with a Bukayo Saka penalty miss. Ramsdale making a mistake in the Southampton game at home within the first 2 minutes. Losing to Nottingham Forest at home after your shoulders dropping. The same Brighton team that we beat away 4-2, getting beat by them again just because we could not hold our nerves. I could have taken a draw at Brighton, but losing against Nottingham Forest, drawing against Southampton, drawing against West Ham, you take these results and make them favorable to us. I think Man City is super lucky. The Manchester United game, again, probably you could probably say that Manchester City was pretty dominant, even though the scoreline did not reflect so. But yesterday, Man City was super lucky as well. Inter Milan created more chances than doesn't matter who dominated the middle of the park or whatever. Majority of the good chances fell on the laps of Inter Milan players. Lautaro Martinez could have squared either Lukaku or Barella. I'm not sure who the other player was for a tap in. He did not. He tried to score like I don't know near about 110 degrees. It was so acute to score that goal. Lukaku blocking off a header from Dimarco. Like I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like he is blocking his own goal, and then Lukaku missing that point blank header. I think, you know, somebody in coma would probably, no disrespect to anybody medically challenged, but they would probably score that goal. It was unbelievable. You have a 20 feet wide, goal, two posts 20 set apart 20 feet wide, and you're literally 2 yards away. How do you shoot that ball straight down the middle? So, in my opinion, this was a lucky treble. I do not think, you know, they will be etched in history for sure, but I don't think they compare to the Barcelona of 2008 and 9, and 13, 14, Bayern Munich 12, 13. I could be wrong. It could be 11, 12. The robbery season, Ribery and Robin season, and then Manchester United season as well. Because while I did not watch that, I do know that they had an epic, difficult, group stage to go through, and the Premier League team. They beat one of the best Arsenal teams ever. That Arsenal team does not compare to this Arsenal team. You know what I'm talking about, Saul, right? Like that Arsenal team, we were going back and forth every season. One season Arsenal would win, the season United would win. So those were epic times. So Manchester United's treble for sure takes the cake as well, in my opinion. So that's my take on Manchester City's treble. Of course, well deserved. They will be etched in history and rightfully so. But it's because of a couple of teams bottling and players bottling their chances.
Right. Anybody else thinks it's a lucky trouble? I mean, I feel that good teams, they always find a way to win.
Not lucky,
Just
Saul. So sorry to interrupt. I'm not saying it's lucky. I'm saying it's produced more based on bottle jobs. That's what I'm trying to say.
so you're saying they didn't have that competition, that fierce competition that you need to have in order to beat them and become like truly great. Okay, all right. What are your thoughts, Ribu? Did you catch the game? Do you think that they were
Yes,
not challenged
yes, of
enough,
course.
or
Yes, of course, I watched the game. To be frank, I mean, the way Man City played the final, it's not the typical Man City, playing the possession controlling game, or taking the ball and dominating the entire gameplay, because the tactics that Inter were using, right? So it completely looked like Inter were making Man City play in a specific manner. That is what I felt. I mean, if you noticed, the first game of this season, where Tottenham beat Man City 1-0, right? So the it was the same game in which it was under Nuno Espirito Santo, but we won 1-0 with a goal from Son Heung-min, and we made Man City play the way we wanted. I think that's the exact thing that happened with this Inter and Man City match as well. They were lucky. I won't say lucky, but it was really a good finish, and they scored deservedly. They scored a goal, but Inter had plenty more chances, and especially that guy Romelu Lukaku. I don't know what to say, but I mean he had lot of chances. I mean, two clear-cut chances and open goals he missed. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, but this is not the Lukaku we saw under the Antonio Conte era. I would say. I'm very sorry to say, but that was a different Lukaku, and this is a different Lukaku. So maybe playing Lukaku was a mistake, but I don't know who else would have played in that position. But I completely am disappointed with the way the chances were not converted. It would have been the other way around, I would say.
right? Yeah, I mean, listen, you don't have to tell me about Lukaku's first touch. I've seen it firsthand in Manchester United when he was there. It was really bad. That was one of the reasons why he was not so popular as a striker. I do feel that he is still a good striker when you compare all the strikers in the
When
world.
there's no pressure. When there's no pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the only thing that lets him down is the first touch.
Hmm.
He's got a horrible first touch, and also like, I mean, I do feel like I didn't see the match yesterday, but of course, like, I've checked out the highlights and everything. It kind of seemed like he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't think he can do much in that scenario uh, where he blocked that shot. But yeah, I mean, he should have scored when he had the chance in the header. So, but anyways, and the Lukaku saga goes on, right? I mean, is he going to go back to Chelsea? Will he stay in Inter? There's like so many things going on with
I
him,
was saying that
and
I
he's
think
also.
I think this is the right time for him to move to either Saudi or MLS. With the
I
list of
Yeah,
players moving to MLS and Saudi, I guess it's the right
Saudi,
time for him
Saudi.
to
Yeah.
move as well.
Right. So maybe a question for Itun Mac: if he goes to Saudi, are you going to loan him out to Newcastle? And what did you think about the
No,
Loan
match?
him
no.
in. You mean
I
loan
would
him
not take. I would not take Lukaku. I would rather take Benzema on a loan, not Lukaku. To be honest, yesterday's match, I compared this match with 2003 UCL final Juventus versus AC Milan. It was a pretty boring match where Milan won probably 3-2 or 4-2 in penalties. I don't remember. And the Spurs and Liverpool UCL final. Except for the last 10 minutes, it was nothing to to be excited for. Last 10 minutes, yes, there are after the scoring of Rodri. Uh, Inter tried a lot. Something didn't happen for them. That very close miss from Lukaku. And there is one thing after Foden. Foden had a really good match after coming from KDB. I mean, he had a lovely turn against the Inter. He couldn't finish, but that was a world-class turn, I would say. Overall, it's not sort of match I, as a neutral supporter, I wanted to see. I expected more of a 3-2, 4-3 kind of matches as in a usual final, as a final Champions League final. But it was a pretty boring match. I probably lost hope that it would go to penalties, but somehow Rodri did that awesome placing, I would say. So yeah, about that, and being lucky or not lucky, the way G said that it was most of us a bottling job that helped City to win the treble. I don't say that I mean, City hold their nerves throughout the season, be it a FA Cup, be it Champions League, and especially in the Premier League. Yes, Arsenal certainly, couldn't clinch the uh, number one spot, but City at least had those mentality to be the champion, be the winner, and I think it's a deserving champion. Yes, it may not be exciting as we expected, but it's still a treble. We have to accept that, and I think Pep is someone. I mean, this is probably second treble, right? One is with Bayern
Barca,
or Barcelona,
Barca.
Barcelona.
Barcelona,
Bayern,
Barcelona.
Barcelona and City, and he deserved that. He deserved to win the UCL. He whatever he did with Man City. So yeah, I mean, kudos to him, and probably he will face lots of challenges because other clubs are coming up in league. Aston Villa, Newcastle, Brighton. Certainly, I believe Spurs and Liverpool and Chelsea also will improve. So next season, Pep will face more challenge. Let's see how it goes. So I believe it will be a exciting season next year.
Don't forget Vincent Company's Burnley.
Yeah, I agree. But it will be difficult for Burnley right away challenging Man City, maybe. But
Of
yeah, I
course.
mean,
But they'll be
yeah,
a difficult fixture, just like Brentford when they came up. They were a difficult fixture. I think Burnley will be a difficult fixture. That's
Right.
yeah.
just
It's,
Okay, moving on to City's dominance. Kloppite. I think Liverpool is the only team that has come close to beating, City in the Premier League in the recent times. What are your thoughts on City's dominance? Do you think it's going to change in the next season, maybe the season after that, or do you think this is sort of like a pattern that we are going to see in the English Premier League at least? Because I've grown up watching Manchester United do the same. Of course, there was Arsenal, there was Chelsea, uh, there was City. In the end, they used to challenge for 2 years, 3 years, and then there's going to be a new club. But the only thing that was dominant throughout this era was Manchester United. I mean, they'll lose one, then win two, they'll lose one again against somebody, and then go on and so forth. Do you think that is going to happen, or do you think it's just going to be City for the next 3 years?
I think it's gonna change. Like first, like football will have changes. Pep, some one season just Pep's players and Pep won't have the same appetite. This it's not just possible. I don't think it's humanly possible to win after win after win after win every season. So yeah, I think there'll be a change. Maybe there'll be changes in tactics by other managers who like there'll be changes in tactics by other managers who will obviously counter what Pep is playing right now, and then again Pep has to change his ways. So that he has adapted to the like mid-season, like we saw this season. Uh, but I think there'll be a change. Definitely, there will be a change. The other clubs are stronger next season. I think they're more active in the transfer market from the start. While I think City are not linked to anyone yet. Just Kovacic, I think they're close to getting him, but not big move or not like a marquee signing. Not that they need one, but I think other clubs are trying to bridge that gap slowly and like they're acting on it fast. That's what I'm seeing. The United is linked to a few players from the start. Uh, Tottenham is linked to some players.
Newcastle, and this like the market is flowing full like very fast. And I think there'll be clubs will be more prepared, more prepared. There will be. I don't think it'll be a dominant season. They might win it. Like you cannot never discount Man City, but I don't think it'll be a dominant season.
Mhm. I'll just sneak in a quick comment here. Uh,
Sure.
just to go back on the Inter Man City final there. Um, I feel so bad for one guy. That guy's world class. Even though Lukaku missed a sitter, but there were two world class saves from Ederson, two crazy world class saves, and I feel bad for the guy because he does not have the national spot because of Allison. Two absolute world class goalkeepers in the realm of um, the Oliver Kahns and the Manuel Neuers and the Gigi Buffons. Unfortunately, they play for the same country and in the same era. It's unfortunate. Just wanted to sneak that comment in there.
Yeah, but Edison has won more trophies than Allison, anyways, just by playing with City. I guess I don't think he minds giving Allison, the baton when Brazil is playing. Allison is clearly the better goalkeeper, I feel, but the gap is pretty minimal. I think both of them are fantastic, but I think we've seen the same thing with Ter Stegen and Neuer, like in
No, no,
Germany.
it's not that. At their peaks, they were not that close. No, Neuer was far better at their
I,
But
peaks.
I
Yeah.
thought like Ter Stegen was really good back then. He was.
Hessian, he got good like in
good.
the last couple of years ago. Yeah, for the past 2 3 years, he's clearly the better one. But Neuer is on the decline. I'm saying here
Right.
we're talking about two people are on the peak at the same time. They're actually the same age, I think, as well. So it's crazy that part we have not seen such rivalry on the
Why
national
I
stage.
would love to I would love to see Ederson in Brazilian team in a fast team in a team selection. I would like to see because
He has
he's
played, he's
been
played,
really unlucky.
but he's not
And
Yeah,
playing.
they
not
used to
like I mean
they used
yeah,
to
not
rotate.
that much.
They used to rotate at first. Like one game, Allison used to play, another game, and
Yeah,
Edison used to
yeah,
play. But I think Allison got
but
the like knock on the
yeah,
head.
better. Yeah,
That's because
I would like
Allison
to
is
say
the
like
better,
two things.
the shot
Yeah,
stopper, and he has more
And he's
command.
he's had a pretty good season. I mean, the goals that
yeah,
he's stopped for Liverpool, so he's done really well. Sorry, you were saying?
yeah. I'd like to say two things I just saw on the phone. Like Fabrizio Romano saying that Spurs are on the verge of agreement with David Raya, someone who
Yeah,
United wanted. That's mad. Like I don't know why United are not getting him.
I know.
No,
I'm of the same thought that he would be a perfect replacement for David De Gea, in my opinion. And
I
yeah, his
think I
ball
think Man
distribution is.
United is going for Pickford, I believe.
no, 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 no. They're
Oh,
going
that's a
for
rumor. I think that's
they're
a
going
rubbish
for
rumor.
they're going for the Porto or Benfica guy. What's his name?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That guy,
Yeah,
Costa,
Portugal,
Costa, I think.
Diogo,
Costa,
Diego
Diogo
Costa.
Costa.
Diogo
Diogo
Costa.
Costa.
Yes,
Right.
but
Yeah,
I mean
and
they
what?
need. But Spurs also needs an upgrade on Hugo
Yeah,
Lloris.
yeah. Loris is dead. Loris is dead. Like
Considering
not
and
literally dead, but
especially
he's.
considering the kind of football they're going to be playing under this new manager. I think that's a great segue for Saul to take over to the new topic. But um,
I
uh,
I would just like to add one thing. Like you guys were talking about like City being lucky and all. Like I am not happy that City won the treble, but I don't think no one cares that much. It's like it had no build up. It had like it was the
No,
like a
the City
very.
fan doesn't care. He's not here,
no, they
and
might lose it. Just so you know, they
so
might
Priyo is
lose
not
the
here as
treble
well. He's also a City fan.
within the next 18 months. They could lose this treble. Just so you know, they could,
Yeah, but like it
depending on
like
the
they
outcome of the allegations and the and
this
all legal
yeah.
findings.
I don't think that's going to
Yeah,
happen. I
just
mean,
forget that. Even putting that aside, like no one cares. Like no one they won the treble. I think everyone expected them to win the treble this season. And I think this year's Champions League was like there's no team to challenge City. I think they were like far the better team, and every compared to the
No,
rest of the teams
they
this
were not the
season.
better team. Inter were the better team yesterday.
Hey, Inter was the better team, like, but you see, like they have City have been playing every game. I saw that, like you bought the comparison between the Liverpool and Spurs game. Like Liverpool didn't need to do anything. Like Liverpool, the mindset was important. Like we know we can beat Inter, we know we can beat Spurs, that kind of thing. We just we just see out the game and win the trophy and take it home. No one cares. That sort of mentality. Even Liverpool didn't. I think Spurs had more chances during our game. I'm sure they had Allison made 2 3 saves from Son, but everyone knew Liverpool was gonna win. Like it was like they were by far the favorites. So same with this game. I think you just had to get the job done. That's it. At the end of the season, you won the Premier League. They weren't particularly great in the FA Cup as well. I think I saw the game, but they just want to get the job done. And at this point of the season, it didn't matter to him. I think that's what like how champions play.
That one
It's
was
not
different
exciting.
though, Klopp. The game against Manchester United, you could tell that Manchester City is by far the better
Hmm.
team. But unfortunately, yesterday, Simeone Inzaghi, I think he's the
Hmm.
brother of Philip Inzaghi, and he got the better of Pep
Yeah,
Guardiola's
he
Manchester
did.
today. And unfortunately, he has two, sore losers for strikers in terms of Lautaro Martinez, who showed his true colors when it came to the World Cup finals, and now in the Champions League final. And the same thing with Lukaku. Both these players have been banging in goals for Inter all season, but when it didn't matter, they're playing Sampdoria or something.
But if Inter did score, I think City would have come back. It's just the mentality thing. They just knew that we got a goal and we would get a goal eventually. We just had to get the job done. See out 90 minutes. Let it be the worst
They
final
didn't
ever.
create,
I would.
No,
but they didn't
if
create too many chances though. The only chance was created was by a world class, Cruyff move
Yeah,
by.
but I think that was the game plan. I've seen the FA Cup
Hmm.
final as
Exactly.
well. The way City play is they're going to go ahead and then they're really good at keeping the ball, right? Whether it's getting
yes,
John Stones in the midfield or Edison playing as a defender, you know,
I think
trying to
Guardiola learned yeah, how to
exactly.
like the last Chelsea game. He was trying so many things
Hmm.
and trying
Yep.
to be more expansive. And in finals, I think it's better to be conservative. I think, and that's what Pep thought. He- That's what he wanted. I think the real game was the Man City Real Madrid game, and they showed how good they
Right.
were.
At that
So I
year,
but
think,
yeah.
I still believe if Inter would have scored first yesterday, the game would have been different. The
yeah,
game would
yeah.
have
Of
been
course.
Then City
entirely
would have
different.
stepped up. City would have
Hmm.
stepped up. I think.
Even if they
Yeah.
stepped up, I believe Inter defensive line was really good, really, really good. I mean, penetrating them, Haaland has a really tough time yesterday.
I'm telling you, yesterday
So
Inter were the better team.
They really puppeted. They really puppeted Haaland, I would say. I mean,
yeah,
Haaland
I
didn't
would,
get a
yeah.
single space.
Inter were the better
Not a
team, but
single space.
it's not like Man City would have. I think Man City would have come back anyway if Inter scored. It was like they're just
Yeah,
I
taking
exactly.
it
still, I
slow.
mean,
That is something I don't believe that, frankly speaking, because the way Man City was playing. I mean, maybe it was his strategy, Pep's strategy to play a dead ball game, kind of a modern Mourinho style, like score first and then just park the bus, or maybe just sit
Yeah, they
and
didn't
see
park
out
the
the game.
bus like they just
But
had the ball.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but
I
they were
mean,
not
like it's a
playing well
modern Mourinho
yesterday.
strategy, but
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
that's my point.
it's
Like you don't
something.
need to play well. You just
no
need to win the
Grealish.
game.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Inter was the
It's
better team yesterday. Grealish didn't have a good game. Gundogan didn't have a good game. Who was the other? Akanji didn't have a good game. Um,
They kept a
it
clean
was
sheet.
just
I think they
Foden,
had
Phil
a
Listen,
Foden,
fairly
and
good
Bernardo
game.
Silva.
I
that's absolutely okay. That's absolutely okay. The goal Rodri scored yesterday, maybe given a chance again, he would not have, probably.
No, I think
But
that was an easy goal to score. I think there were a lot of space there, and he had a lot of time. So the Inter
no,
player who knocked it
those,
out, I think.
that was the only spot where he could have scored, which was the bottom
I
right.
I mean, it was not hard to
yeah,
place. I think because Onana was also kind of on the right
No,
side.
you should see the video again. Chalanolu actually was that was a disaster, defending from him. That he was a complete
Yeah,
disaster. He turned his
he
back.
headed the ball. Yeah. He didn't close down, and I don't think many people were around Rodri to close down. So I think he would have scored. Like that's just hit the ball straight in the bottom right corner and it goes in.
Anyway, I think it was a not
anyway,
not
they
terrible.
scored, they won, so
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fair. I think
there's
yeah,
nothing
but
to
it's
argue
like
about right now.
I think no one cares about that treble. That is like it feels very subdued and
No,
everything. The
see, you
celebration.
cannot see one thing. I believe you cannot, underappreciate them just by
We appreciate.
saying they don't. I mean, we don't care or people don't care. People do care. At least fans do care. Fans do care.
I'm
From a
saying we appreciate, like from a neutral perspective, we do appreciate, but from a fan perspective, I've not seen the hype. If this was Liverpool or United or Arsenal playing this Champions League final, it would have been buzzing. Like we last year we played in Paris and the whole Paris was red. It was
Yeah,
like
but this
that.
is
Like
it's a simple logic, Klopite here.
yeah, they don't
Man
have
City and
fans.
fans
That's
don't
the
go
thing.
together.
they have,
Yeah,
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 that's
that's
I
what I'm
right.
believe they
saying.
have
Man
less
City
number
and
of
fans.
fans, and that. And see, having a less number of fans doesn't mean you
Yeah, yeah,
know
but you can still
to be
make it big. You can still make it big. You can bring out the celebration, bring out the like those smoke, whatever those things are, the flares
They
and
do that.
everything.
They do a lot of that, but I think it's about club history. It's about
Yeah,
the amount of heritage, football
yeah, yeah.
heritage. Mourinho said that, right? The amount of heritage you have under your belt, and City is, of course, they are writing history right now. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
for some of us, we are sort of like floating in whatever of our clubs have done in the recent time, or maybe 10 or 20 years ago. So I think that's why it's like, whatever, City has won. But I also feel like, being a Manchester United fan again, like losing the treble, I think football has changed as well. It's not a romantic sport anymore. I mean,
That's true. I agree with you.
for the fans, it is. But except for the fans, when you go inside a football club, whether it's a manager, coaches, players, it's very practical, it's very professional, it's all about money, it's all about data, it's all about
Yeah,
analytics. Eh, so which was, maybe part of that was always there, of course it was there in football clubs, but when it comes to like the clear
Romanticism. Yeah,
romanticism of the sport, that does not exist. And I
true.
say that because, like, I was feeling like, I was not depressed, but I was like pretty sad when I didn't watch the match, but I did. I mean, when you're on Twitter, you get all sorts of stuff, right? So I got to know when they scored. I got to know when the final whistle was blown, and there were pictures, celebrations, and things like that. I just had this very, like, dark, weird feeling where I was like, okay, so and this is from a Manchester United perspective. It's like, so the Glazers are going to stall the sale. We are not sure when the club is going to be sold, which means that might impact the transfer budget, that might impact everything else. The players are on holiday. They obviously don't care. And the
yeah,
only losers are the fans. And the Manchester United, I mean, this is from a Manchester United perspective, but this can also be a Liverpool fan or an Arsenal fan or a Tottenham fan or a Newcastle fan, right? And that's when it struck me like a bolt of lightning that, it's not what it used to be 10 or 15 years
exactly,
ago.
exactly.
Football was a different sport back then. Yes, we still love it, but I think it has changed a lot. It has become more tactical, more based on how you can beat somebody's tactics on the field, rather than having that spirit, having that sort of like that grit, right? Back in the day, where people would fight it out. Of course, with VAR and everything. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just like it's a different format of the game.
No, you're absolutely right, Saul. I mean, I have said this to you in our personal chats that whether it be sports or any form of video games or music or films or any form of art, I think the current era, it it has lost a lot of its romanticism, electricity that it used to
Pureness.
exist. Yes, it used to be there
The
with the kind of
passion
music
is
that
the passion is something which is missing
it's
completely.
a little
It's
different.
I
It's like
would like
very
to.
I would
short-lived, very
say the
short-lived.
passion because Liverpool fans, I've seen they're mad, but I
No, no,
just
no.
the one club I think
That's what I'm talking.
like
I'm saying that in general, all of our highs are very short-lived.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
You would
agree.
Hmm.
enjoy, let's say the Dark Side of the Moon album from Pink Floyd was enjoyed for like a decade. You know,
Even still we are enjoying it.
Right.
Still enjoy.
exactly. But you look at
Exactly.
the content that is being created for the past decade, they don't last. We still watch, let's say, some of you guys may be WWE fans. I still watch, epic confrontations between Austin and The Rock and, all sorts of things. And
I agree.
any and every product that you can think of in life right now, sorry for digressing, but I think a little bit of passion has dropped. People's attention span, I'm not
Yeah,
blaming the younger generation or anything, but the product has changed and evolved, and we are probably evolution just passed us by.
I'll just give one small example. So I'm a fan of Italy national club, national team. So when they won 2006 World Cup, my joy moment are probably 15-20 days. I was thinking
I
I
cried.
support a team.
I
I
cried.
I, I actually cried.
No,
And
I
when they
cried
won this,
because of sadness. Because of sadness.
no, I cried because of joy, because the whole night I was awake. For the next day, when I going to play football, my friends are, they are just appreciating me. Wow, so your team won something like that. But when in 2021 Italy won the Euro, I was happy, but it was not like the 2006 period. That's the difference.
Thank you for watching that video. We are a community of passionate football fans and we post weekly videos on transfer news, match reactions, tactical analysis, and sometimes just gossip on the most exciting sport in the world. If that's what you like to hear, then hit that subscribe button and join the conversation with us.